So in conclusion, here are some common pitfalls in working with while loops and vectorizing code. One is forgetting to initialize a running sum or count variable to 0 or a running product variable to 1. Another is not realizing that it's possible that the action of a while loop will never be executed. So since the condition on a while loop is on top, you evaluate it before the action. If the condition is already false, then the action will never be executed. Another common mistake is not error checking input into a program. So again, there's almost always valid range of values for input, so you should use a while loop to error check and make sure that you get a correct value. And not taking advantage of MATLAB, not vectorizing code. So writing for loops when you don't have to write for loops. So looping through the elements of a vector to add something to every one, for example, when you could just do that using the addition operator in MATLAB. Here are some programming style guidelines. Whenever there's input into a program, use a while loop to error check the input. Always, 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 when you have input into a program, use a while loop to error check. Use loops for repetition only when necessary in MATLAB. Use the for loop as the counted loop, so when you know ahead of time how many times you want to repeat the action and when you need to use a for loop. Use the while statement as a conditional loop, so when you know you need to repeat an action, but ahead of time you don't know how many times to repeat the action. And finally, vectorize your MATLAB code. So don't use loops at all when you want to perform an operation on vector or matrix. Use vectorized code instead. Use the built-in functions, use the built-in operators.